What is up, guys? What is up, Bang? Today, we're diving into one of the most, ultimate, the most, we're going to talk about Boosie legal wins in recent rap history. Boosie Badazz was throwing down a 10-year federal sentence. The feds don't lose. They have a 95% conviction rate. But as of January 2026, Boosie is officially home. No prison, just community service and probation. How did his team do it? We breaking down the Blanco blueprint. We're going to let Boosie break it down to you.
Going court. Boy, Kyle got me anyway, Pete. Plain Jane, this bitch. So cold, boy. White boys different, boy. Grateful, bro.
Okay, sir. Good.
Let's get it.
Okay. The case started in court in San Diego. Boosie was filming a music video and officers saw a gun on IG Live. And they sent a whole helicopter to get to him. The state case was actually about to be dismissed. But guess what? That's when the feds stepped in and they were waiting outside the courtroom to arrest him again. This is called the petite policy. Boosie lawyer immediately attacked, she attacked it. This as outrageous government conduct, arguing the feds were only involved because Boosie is a high profile, outspoken critic of the system. This put the prosecution on the defense early. Okay. Mr. Hatch's life story is one of extraordinary adversity, resilience, and personal growth. He was born and raised in one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. An environment marked by violence, poetry, and instability. His father struggled with addiction and died when Mr. Hatch was just 14 years old. A traumatic loss that permanently altered the course of his childhood and left him without meaningful adult guidance. At a former age, music became Mr. Hatch's primary means of survival and self-expression. From a young age, he used it to process grief, anger, and fear, and to articulate experience shared by many young people growing up in similar marginalized communities. Over time, that outlet became his profession. Through discipline and persistence, Mr. Hatch built a successful career that allowed him to support his family, create a legitimate employment for others, and ultimately leave behind the environment that shaped his early years. Importantly, Mr. Hatch's adult life reflects substantially maturity and law addiction conducts, as the PSR confirms. There was approximately 10 years gap between his prior criminal conduct and this is instant offense during the decade. Mr. Hatch focused on his career, his children, and community engagement. He did not offend, and has demonstrated that he was capable of living without the law, notwithstanding the difficult circumstances of his upbringing. Okay, this is the tactic that she used. Okay, this is where it gets technical. Blanco used a landmark Supreme Court ruling called NYSPRA versus Bruen. Basically, they argued that the law banning nonviolent felonies from owning guns is unconstitutional because it doesn't fit the historical tradition of the U.S. It actually worked in July 2024. Judge Katie dismissed even though the feds eventually re-indicted him after the appeal court flipped the ruling. This reset bought Boosie nearly a year of freedom and killed the prosecution momentum. That was at that time. You know what I'm saying? Because when they re-indicted Boosie, it was a surprise. You know what I'm saying? It was a surprise to Boosie and to a lot of fans because everybody thought Boosie had already beat the charge. You know, he had took the social ground. Everybody thought that the charge was gone until they came back with the indictment. You know, the Fed tried to play dirty. They claimed Boosie threatened his security detail, saying he put $10K on their head and put them in a body bag. Most lawyers would panic. But guess what? Boosie's lawyer tactics, she demanded receipts. She pointed out these threats weren't in any original policy reports. And there was zero record evidence. Okay, by debunking the dangerous narrative, she shifted the judge view from Boosie being a threat to Boosie having an isolated lapse in judgment. In August 2025, Boosie surprised everyone by pleading guilty. Why? Because the Bruen defense was tied up in higher courts and trial was too risky. The tactics here was a sentencing momentum. They highlighted Boosie's 10 years of staying out of trouble. He rolled as a father in the fact that the gun was never fired and brandished. They turned the criminal into a family man in the eyes of the court. You know what I'm saying? Because it was going another direction for Boosie. The prosecutor really wanted to see Boosie in prison. You know, we heard Boosie talking about how the prosecutor was recycling his lyrics. So the prosecutor really wanted Boosie in prison. But the judge seen something better in Boosie. So they just didn't go with the prison term. They went as, okay, he'll be a good role model. Let's just put him out here for the kids. Talk to the kids. You know, he got a powerful influence on kids. So let him do his thing. Okay, January the 9th, 2026, the feds asked for 2 years in prison. The judge gave him 0 time served. 300 hours of community service and a fine. Blanco's strategy over relentless constitutional challenge combined with harmonizing her client worked. Boosie is the first major rapper in years to take the feds head on and win his freedom back. You know. What do you all think? Was this fair results or did he get lucky? Let me know in the comments. Would you like me to break down a Pacific Supreme case on the next video? Leave it down in the comment section and I just might do that. But we're going to let Boosie talk to y'all.
I'm back. I give all praise to God, man. I knew it the whole time. I've been telling y'all. Hey, I'm blessed to have my freedom on. It's time to turn up now. You know, couldn't do a lot because of this situation that I was going through, but I got 3 movies ready. You know, I got probably 7 albums ready. And I'm finna push the gas, man. I can do shows again. 2026.